Hello, I'm Graham Schmidt, the producing artistic director of Breaking String Theater here in Austin, Texas. And we are just almost finished with our second annual New Russian Drama Festival. This year we are hosting playwright Maxim Kurechkin and translator, playwright, critic John Friedman, with whom I'm happy to be speaking tonight. This is our second annual festival. Our first one, which was kind of a landmark event for the company, was in 2011, that was last year, and we hosted wonderful playwright Olga Mukhina and had the American premiere of her play Letit, or Flying. And this year and along with Olga, Maxim came and we did a staged reading of his play Repress and Excite, and this year we've kind of upped the ante with Maxim and brought him as our featured playwright. So, yeah, it's been a really fantastic weekend.
And so what of his plays did you do?
We just staged The Schooling of Bento Banchev, the true story of the famous Bulgarian student, which was a fantastic experience. He arrived on late on Wednesday night, and he came to the final dress on Thursday, and afterwards we had notes with the cast and crew, and some of the things that he said, just really pointed stuff that shed light on kind of the whole play. It was kind of the dream experience of having the playwright in the room for dress rehearsal, and then we opened on Friday, and it was magic. So.
And what else? You today there was a couple of readings. Tell me a little bit about those.
And this afternoon we had two readings, both translated by John Hanley. The first was The Right of the Captain of the RMS Carpathia, which is an early Kurechkin play, and another one was Vodka, Fucking, and Television.
Yeah, that second title kind of semi-obvious what it's about. But the first one is not. Say something about that first one.
The first one is not. Well, the Carpathia, as we abbreviate it to, is about well, of course, the ship Carpathia is the kind of legendary first responder to the Titanic disaster. That is, it saved a number of the passengers from drowning after the Titanic went down. And this is kind of a visionary play, fantasy about an imagined captain of that ship who runs up against customs agents and is smuggling guns, but also seems to be traveling through. He's in some kind of a sphere where time doesn't really have much meaning, and he's everybody's father, and it's kind of I guess I could say this is kind of a mindfuck. It's a really cool play.
I won't quote that.
Yeah.
And then about Bento. Tell me a little bit about Bento. What's that all about?
Bento is essentially a love story. I mean, it's a romantic comedy with kind of a twist. Max has posited this world in which love does not exist. And one of the main questions that we all had about it is, why does this take place in America? It's written in Russian for Russians, but it takes place in America. And what has turned out really nicely, I feel like partly with Max's input, and it's something that John has mentioned, is America is this dreamland. Russians v Ameriku verit. Russians believe in America. It's everything works out. Nobody has any problems, and this is where this play takes place. And hopefully, our production gets across the sense that it's a play about this kind of storybook existence. It has a great deal of depth through its lightness and its humor. And I feel like it's just been a beauty to watch, and I think it's bringing some people a lot of joy.
How is in Austin? How have people received this kind of Russian connection that you're putting together?
We've over the last couple of years really started to find a niche. I mean, we have some really prominent folks from the theater community and the arts community who've come and attended the festival, participated in the festival. Robert Ferris is the arts editor for the Austin Chronicle, which is the local culture main source of information about culture here in Austin.
Kind of the Moscow Times of Austin.
Essentially, yeah. Very well put. Exactly. He led a discussion about what was going on in Russia and Max's response to it. Specifically, I'm talking about the protests and the presidential elections. And I feel like particularly we didn't plan it this way, but this moment is a moment when a lot more people, just in America, there's we're just flooded with news about Russia from the protests, from the presidential elections, and it's on people's minds and the tips of their tongues in a way that it really it tends, for better or worse, tends not to be. We're not obsessed with Britney Spears at this exact moment. We're talking about important things, and that's just a great time to have somebody like Max and John here in town to enrich that relationship.